So I recently returned from Adepticon, one of the world's largest miniature wargaming and miniature painting conventions in the world, and the long-awaited return of Golden Demon, Games Workshop's infamous miniature painting competition, and its first return to the United States in almost a decade. I brought my camera thinking I was going to make some awesome video about the event, but I had no idea what to actually capture. So today we're going to go through all my footage and find out what kind of weird stuff I caught on film and find out why I lost at the Golden Demon. After the 5-hour or so drive to get there, we arrived, and apparently I thought I was going to do some kind of a documentary or something because I'm just taking random footage of us walking around the hotel because that's riveting. We actually arrived the day before the convention started, but already there was a ton of people there and you could just feel the buzz. It had been 3 years since the last Adepticon due to COVID, and because of that, everyone just seemed so excited to see each other again and hang out with their fellow nerds. There was a 15-foot Space Marine statue right after you entered the convention hall. I mean, it felt like Games Workshop was ready to come back in full force, and they were taking this Golden Demon event seriously. Scott, the miniature maniac, was so hyped about this that he momentarily lost his sanity.
I like sub sandwiches and pizza. Yellow is a color.
Oh, that's right. I snuck into a classroom where Eric Swinson, an amazing miniature painter from America, was teaching a class. The great thing about Adepticon is there is so many different amazing classes, both on the hobby side and on the gaming side, that you can take. And Eric's an amazing teacher, and he mostly didn't get mad that I was filming this. One of the many amazing things about Adepticon is the massive vendor hall, where they have everything nerdy you could possibly think of that you want or didn't know that you needed for the hobby. When we went to the Games Workshop booth, they had these massive 2-scale Warhammers, because the game's called Warhammer. Of course, Scott ran up and tried to pick up the hammer when he first saw it. Much to his chagrin, the thing weighed like 60 pounds. He had to have help from the staff in order to be able to hold the thing. You know, that's going to be his Christmas card, I think. So I love checking out all the models that all the different vendors had, like this amazing samurai. I just loved her. Unfortunately, she was only available for pre-order, so they just tempted me with having the thing there. I also ran across an interesting booth called COcast. Now, most of the booths at Adepticon are actually there to sell you, the consumer, products, but COcast is actually a technology for making miniatures, and their target audience is other vendors and potential miniature makers there. The process is pretty crazy how that they can easily turn out super highly detailed plastic minis that are both durable and crisp. They actually gave me a few models to take home, and the detail is crazy, and showed me the full process, and it's super fast. From making the molds to actually having the plastic injected and be ready to pull out and play with just took a few minutes. Now, there appears to be a lot of footage of me just showing you everything that was for sale at these booths, like that will somehow help you. I think my brain was saying, if I have a camera and look like I'm recording something important, maybe they'll give me free stuff. And I didn't really work, but I did buy a bunch of amazing things. I was super excited to pick up this Infinity starter set for the JSA Army. They are robot ninjas, and I have been having my eye on these for quite a while, and so I broke down, and I'm cool with that. I also picked up the Army Painter Speed Paint starter set because apparently if you make YouTube videos about this stuff, it's the hot thing to do. I've probably missed the boat on that, but I want to try them out either way, and I'm a sucker for buying more paint. Some of the coolest things for me at the vendor hall are all the awesome looking tables, either set up for demos or for just the awesome terrain that these companies make. I'm also a bit of a dice buying addict, so when I went to the North Foundry booth and saw all the real gemstone dice, I just kind of threw my money at them. And what I walked away with were these real turquoise dice. They have a beautiful teal color, one of my favorite colors to paint with. So I thought, hey, if nothing else, maybe they'll inspire a new paint scheme for a model I paint. And they'll probably still roll like crap, like all my other dice. Me showing you a couple of booths and explaining how awesome the vendor hall is doesn't really give you a good idea of how grand and amazing it really is. So let's take a little video montage where we walk through the entire vendor hall and you can see how massive this place really is. Oh yeah, there was a handful of people cosplay up as Space Marines and stuff, and that was pretty sweet. I had some time to hang out with my buddy Byron at the Artist Opus booth where he was giving live dry brushing demos all convention long. And he was nice enough to show me a few new tricks that I didn't know about. Now, unfortunately, all the audio was terrible because of how loud it was in that convention hall. So what I'm going to do is recreate what I think Byron is saying in this demo. This is the special water sponge. Touch it, touch it. 1 drop. You only need 1 drop. Now, okay, that's good. Damp it, damp it, damp it, damp it, damp it, damp it. Okay, now bring out your little sticky note. We're going to put sticky notes all over this model. They're going to be like banners. Now we're going to paint around the sticky notes. Oh, look at, okay, more sticky notes. Oh, this is actually masking. I'm masking this model, not putting sticky notes on him. That way I can dry brush in the shadows. Okay, look at me. Look at me. Purple, 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 purple. Okay, on the fingers. Who needs a palette? Who needs a paper towel? And more. Look at this. Look at, I touch them together. I have lines of paint right here. Squish them together. I'm saying important things. You're not listening at all, John. And you're very gentle. Very gentle. Look at him. He's orange. This is my pumpkin man. He's my favorite pumpkin. He looks a little bit rotten, but that's why we do little soft dry brushes. That will bring out his beauty. Look at this. See, it's dark down here. Not anymore. Not anymore. Wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And thank you for coming to the Artist Opus demonstration. I hope that was what you said, Byron. Pretty sure that's what you said. Today's video is brought to us by the Ridge wallet. Now, when I first started painting, I realized that having a big fat wallet in my back pocket only made my posture terrible and my back hurt. So I switched over to a thin one to wear in my front pocket. Throughout the years, I've tried many different kinds and different brands of thin wallets. But when I got the Ridge, I realized that I'd been missing out on something awesome all this time. First of all, the thing's got a lifetime guarantee. Every one of my other ones either broke or got gnarly or smelly. This thing is going to last you forever. Next, it comes with a 45-day guarantee. So I really got a good testing of this thing to find out if it was worth it or not. And I gotta say, there's a reason why they do that, because people aren't going to send it back. This thing is amazing. And they're customizable. They come with a little tool so you can adjust what kind of accessory you want on the back to make sure that it works best for you. It's really slick to get my cards out easily, and it holds a lot more cards than all those other ones that I've tried while still keeping a nice slim profile. So if you want to see all the awesome styles that they have and maybe give them a try, click on the link in the video description below and you get a little special spicy deal for being a member of the Ninjon family. Now let's get back to the video. One of the things I really missed about conventions was getting together with fellow nerds and meeting new friends or hanging out with old ones. I got to hang out with a whole bunch of different content creators and we talked about all sorts of stuff YouTube. I got to talk with people that I only met online before and meet a whole bunch of new friends. These are my friends Blake and Ed. They bought matching tracksuits for the occasion. Uncle Adam tried to interview me, but I decided that if I record him, he couldn't ask me questions that could be used against me in the court of law later. I don't think that's how the law works. But one thing to note is if you're hanging out with your weird friends, sometimes they do weird things, and it's pretty cool to have a camera out so you can capture it, and so all the internet can see how weird they are and awkward. It's kind of surreal meeting people that are fans of the channel and that have watched my videos. It's kind of weird, and I just throw something out on the internet. I just assumed they weren't real people that watched these. It doesn't sound very smart. One of my new best friends that I met over the Adepticon weekend is Macaroni. Macaroni is a service dog that knows that Ninjon is the best channel on YouTube, and that Macaroni says you should subscribe to this channel if you're not, because he will do hops for every one of you that subscribe. When I was hanging out at the Steamforge Games booth with my buddies Blake and Ed, this silver-tongued gentleman by the name of James came up to us, and before we knew it, he had us convinced that the best game of all time and what we should only play until the day we die is God Tier. So the giant vendor hall is cool. The amazing events that were going on and tournaments being played are awesome. But what makes Adepticon truly special, to me at least, is what's known as Painter's Alley, aka Fort WAPPEL, aka WAPPEL House. I just renamed it WAPPEL House over the weekend. I need everyone to be on board with this. It's a play on words. It makes sense. It's funny. It's punny. This place is the central hub for miniature painters. If you want to talk about painting, there's going to be somebody there to talk to. If you want to sit down 24 hours a day and paint a model, you can do it. And you won't do it alone, because someone will come up and talk to you about what you're painting and sit down next to you. It was a great place to meet somebody that's maybe a streamer or a YouTuber or a famous painter, and you can just pick their brain. It was a great, great experience, and I found myself multiple times a day continuing to come back here and have great conversations. All right, I need to talk about game demos. So many companies come with their new games or yet to be released games to Adepticon for you to try out, and they have experts in the games that teach you to play. I had a ton of fun learning to play Rivenstone, an upcoming game by Broken Anvil Miniatures, as well as learning how to play Relic Blade, which is a game I wanted to play for a while, but I'd never gotten around to, and my God, is that game so fun. One of my regrets from Adepticon this year was not demoing enough games. There was at least 10 that I wanted to try out in addition to the couple that I did, and I just let time slip through my fingers. It's funny how at a convention, when you're with other people that love the same things that you do, how quickly time can go by. So I just need to remind myself to make better use of my time and time management and all those other boring adult things that we shouldn't be worrying about, because we're at a convention, we're having fun, we're being nerds. Saturday night of Adepticon, we held the live recording of our podcast, Trapped Under Plastic. And I was really hopeful that we would get 20 or 25 people to show up. But as staff from the event started to turn away people because we had hit max capacity for the room, I was blown away. This was literally the most memorable, most exciting, most awesome event for me for all of Adepticon. Usually we're just recording in Scott's basement. Sometimes there's a dog there to listen, but it's just super wild to have a live group of people there smiling, laughing, going on the fun journeys and stories with us. So thank you for those of you that attended Trapped Under Plastic Live. Next year we're going to be back bigger and badder than ever, and I hope to see you there. Now, as we've been reliving Adepticon through the footage of my camera, there's one thing that I don't think I've expressed quite well enough, and that was the constant feeling of anxiety about Golden Demon through this entire process. You see, I'd spent a good amount of time, maybe not enough time in hindsight, working on my competition piece for Golden Demon. I turned in my piece to the judges the very first day of the convention on Thursday, and awards didn't happen until Sunday at 4 p.m. Leading up to the Golden Demon, I felt pretty confident about my piece, but it didn't take long after seeing all the amazing pieces in the many, many display cases to see that everybody else put just as many or more hours, blood, sweat, and tears into their paint jobs as well. So it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster over the couple of days thinking about my piece compared to others. I say my piece because there's one main piece I thought had a chance. I did bring a second piece, which was just a fun little Age of Sigmar unit piece of 3 little Noblars bursting into a dwarven stronghold and seizing all their gold. I did this for fun at a friend get-together about a year or two ago, and I just thought, it's cool. I thought it's funny. I thought maybe it'd make people smile, so I entered it. To my surprise, it actually made the first cut and got a finalist pin. My other piece was one that all my hopes were riding on. It was a piece that I had converted a couple of years ago into a Dark Eldar Grotesque, a model that's pretty outdated and still in fine cast in the game's workshop catalog. Now, I thought that the fact that it was converted and unique would catch the judge's eye. There wouldn't be anything else like it in the case. But at the end of the day, this is a painting competition, and I knew that I didn't quite paint it up to the standards that I would like to. There was a lot of areas that I was really proud of on the model, but there was also a lot of areas that I knew could have used more time. Unfortunately, competitions come ready or not, so I had to enter it, and I still felt like I had a good shot. This piece, not only did I get a finalist pin, but I made it to the final checkpoint, which was that it got a commended entry. This means that it was up for a golden teeman. I believe there was 6 or 7 pieces in my category that received this, and the top 3 would get an award. And by the title of this video, you already know that I actually didn't win a golden demon. All 3 in the single 40K category that won were Space Marines, so I learned my lesson. No more converting, only Space Marines from here until eternity. I'm just kidding. Those things were painted amazingly, and every one of them deserved it. Bullshit, they all sucked. I hate them. They're terrible people. I'm much better at everything, and it's all a racket. But the entire Golden Demon experience reminded me of the excitement and the fun and energy that comes around competition painting. Just having something in the case made this event entirely different for me. There was always something to be nervous about, to be excited about, to talk to people about, to ask about what they painted, to talk about what I painted. And I really, really feel like I've got a bigger drive and I want to return to competition painting. Because after 3 years of not doing it, you kind of feel like you get in this lull where you forget how fun and amazing the process is. And that's what gets you through the tough hours and hours and hours that it takes to paint at this level. And I know it's not for everybody, but I feel like before I die, I need to win one of these damn golden demons. Thanks for hanging out today and going through all my weird Adepticon footage. I had a lot of fun doing it. I do hope that if you're interested in a miniature convention, you do a little research, find one near you, and plan out for it so you can attend. It really is one of the most awesome experiences for us that are involved in this hobby. If you want to help John win a golden demon, the best place to do it is to support me over on Patreon. That way I can spend all my extra money on all these fancy other tools that will make sure that I obviously beat the Space Marines next time. Also, you get to see all the fun rewards that you get for supporting me over there. Now, I'm going to see you real soon in the next video, but between now and then, make sure you find some time to get out there and slay the gray.